Okay. I'm going to call the Board of Finance special meeting for April 27th to order. We will seat.
I'll make a motion to seat myself.
I'll second it.
Thank you. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? All right. Public comment.
Of course I have. I just did some numbers. I'm sure you guys remember 2025, the grueling, long thing we went through, and we looked at 4 years. You guys have been, I think it's 4 years. I don't know what John put on there, but of expenditures compared to budget. We only have audited for 2025, and I just want to point this out to you. After $80,000 in cuts by the Board of Finance, the municipal budget is still underspent by $88,000. If you take what was spent in 2025 and compare it to what is being proposed for 2026, 27, it's a $467,000 increase, 22%. And there is nothing that the taxpayers are getting. There's no additional infrastructure. There's no new programs. There's nothing in there that 22% is insane. And this town cannot take that on. We really got to look at what's being spent and not what's being budgeted. A 0% increase in a line item that's never been spent is not realistic. And the other thing I wanted to mention separate, there's a lot of talk around town about the push to sell the firehouse to help meet budget. That does nothing but put you $300,000 in the hole next year. It's just kicking that can down the road. And with all the infrastructure and stuff we need in this town, that money from the sale of the firehouse should be put in a capital reserve account for repairs or whatever. We have to think beyond today. And this can's been kicked down the road so many times. We are at a point where it has to stop. We can't keep filling the cups with citizens for a 22% increase. I mean, just think about that in 2 years with no additional services. So that's my comment.
Thank you. Any other comments?
Oh. Tom Wilson, taxpayer, not Board of Finance. We've said, I've been on this board now, this has been my third budget cycle. And we've said every year that it's going to be harder next year. And it's been harder every year after, like we predicted. And one of the things I've been saying over and over and over is that we can't continue to allow the expenses to outpace revenue. And so we need new revenue streams. I've said it over and over and over, and we've not tackled potential revenue streams in our town, and we need to think about that. Does not help us this year again because it's too late. But I think the Board of Selectmen, probably with planning and zoning, POCD, should really look at tangible revenue opportunities. And I've already developed a list of 8 to 10 of them that I think would add some revenue to the town. That our expenses are going to continue to rise, and I agree with what Denise says about the increases to year over year, because that's going to happen naturally. Contracts, inflation, cost of doing business, it's always going to go up. If we don't pace the revenue in the same manner, we're not going to get ahead of it. And looking at, the spreadsheet that Amy always provides for us, it's a big number. So we have our work cut out for us. I think I dipped into Tom Wilson Board of Finance there for a second. Sorry.
Thank you. Any other? All right. We will move on to the approval of the municipal audit for fiscal year ending June 30th, 2025.
Yeah, I'll move so we can get it on the.
Yep.
Move to approve the fiscal 25 audit.
Second.
What's that, Tom?
Okay. I mean, I just had some questions, like about whether all the updates had been made that we put them about. the
So
steep
it's been-
grant and the,
Right.
and the, designated, whatever. Right.
So there's been accurately kind of stuff. Is there any other discussion? Then I'll entertain a motion to approve the municipal audit.
We have.
With the, yeah, that we just have to take a vote.
That's sorry.
It's okay.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? This is. I will open the floor to discussion for the budget.
Well, even if we had 0% increase in our municipal and Board of Education budgets, we would still have a big hole. And we'd have to raise the mill rate. So it's very frustrating because it's taking us a very long time to do, as Tom and others have proposed, to really have a more multi-year plan of building revenue. And I know that everyone is saying we'll get there, but it's really handicapping us. Even if we were to implement probably or entertain and engage in additional revenue generating things, it takes a while to put them in place and for them to generate revenue. So as much as public comment has pointed out that it's just a Band-Aid, even if you did have a sale of the firehouse to go through, we do have to get through this year. And but with as minimal raising of low rate as possible, while we commit, like today, to talking about generating additional revenue. I did have a few other questions. So one idea is that the only ready cash is not really ready cash, but the only potential influx of cash would be the sale of the firehouse, and it is being tied up because of the easement. I think that I talked to Dave a little bit. I don't know if you want to share that idea or not. It's fine if you don't, but the sale of this firehouse it's costing us money. Not a ton, but it's still costing us money. And we need the cash right now while we look at something very proactive as far as, we have our POCD people who have been really working on getting us to realize additional revenue. Tom and others have been thinking about this too, but this just doesn't look good. Even if you had 0% increase, it's very, very rough. The other questions I had were, and I really hesitate to go there, but we never include in the budget revenue from old taxes that we collect and liens and stuff. And it's just been our practice not to include those in the projected revenue streams.
Because historically we have projected 100% collection on the current.
Yeah.
We
And
don't
so-
project anything on the.
I see. So that kind of makes up the difference. So thank you for that
Yep.
reminder. Yeah. And even if you were to cut budgets, it's just if the formula just math doesn't work.
Right.
We have a mandate not to go below 12.5% of our general fund. We can amend that, though it just won't make a huge difference. If you went down a little bit, but at this point, anything is going to help a little bit.
So I think one of the places where we're kind of stuck is that our high school budget increase is almost a mill for us this year.
Right.
And unfortunately, we did not know that their hearing was the same night as our Board of Ed presentation, so we did not have the opportunity to go to that hearing.
Well, how would that have made a difference?
Well, we could have expressed our concern about it being a full mill increase for our town.
But isn't it just done by formula?
Well, it is, but maybe they have an opportunity to change their budget too.
Oh, the budget.
Yeah, the
Right, yeah, the overall budget. I mean, they could have heard some displeasure
Mhm.
and but we didn't have that opportunity, unfortunately. So, I am disappointed that that wasn't brought to our attention when we scheduled that meeting. So we did not have that opportunity, because that's where we're
So
seeing
you're talking
huge.
about that number there.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's huge. And that's almost an entire mill for us,
Yes,
Yeah,
right?
almost.
it is.
So, so that is a problem. So like that means everybody else has to, if we want to go to zero, we're gonna have to cut everything else to get there. I don't even know if that's
0 won't work
possible.
anyway.
I mean,
0%
I know.
increase.
It's
won't
right,
work.
it's difficult.
Well, but you're pointing out that this is a significant amount of money
Mhm.
and negotiations are in order or something.
Well, the vote is next Tuesday,
Right.
so I don't know.
But there's always a chance of it getting voted down.
There is. I mean, it has.
been in
I'm
the
not
past.
hearing a lot of noise around that, and I'm not seeing that. Usually if there's a strong feeling that it's not a good budget and it should be voted down, there's a lot of noise around that. I have not heard a lot of noise around that. So I'm going to guess that it will probably pass in most of the towns. Might not pass in Falls Village, but we're the smallest, so it won't matter.
So there's nothing we can do about it.
I don't feel like there's a lot we can do about it. I mean, we can have a conversation with Sam Herrick,
What about a $500,000 increase in the outplacements? That's always been a huge.
right. And they
Right.
work really hard not to outplace their students, but depending on their disabilities, it may not be something they have any choice about.
Yeah.
I didn't follow you.
So-
$500,000 in outplacement.
Outplacements are students that they are unable to educate within our own district. And Region 1 does a very good job of creating programs so that even if they have to move students from one school to another within the district, they can do that to meet their needs, because that is more cost effective, but also there are kids and we tend to know them and, can be very successful when that is done. But there are some needs that we just can't meet, and so the kids need to be outplaced, and that gets very expensive.
And that $500,000 number is region wide, or is that?
It's region-wide, yes.
And is it that
That's
particularly
over, that's
a
an
huge
increase. That's not even that's a pretty significant, because they were at 800,000
Mhm.
a couple of years ago. Because that's always the number that it can be a variable that's very hard to project. So that's,
Because you never know when,
Student populations. and
student
needs.
populations change and needs change, and
But we
so-
would have a 14%, 15% share of that.
right,
Correct.
Mhm.
yes,
So
yeah. So that's just, I feel like that's creating an obstacle for
Mhm.
us. Is that a fair way to say?
Yeah.
So that's just something that we need to consider and look at. And I don't know how to address it at this
Oh,
point.
gosh, no. Yeah.
So
Mhm.
that brings us back to our municipal budget and our local Board of Education budget, which I do think both of them are pretty lean. I do wish we had a Board of Education member here, because a couple things that I would question.
Is Andrew Deacon?
Oh yeah, is he on?
Yes.
He is our principal.
Yeah, okay. He is. He
Perfect.
he is muted. Let's
if
ask him to unmute.
Do you feel that's appropriate at this time, Ginger?
if he can shed some light, if you have some specific questions, that would be great. if he's available to talk.
Andrew, can you hear us?
He may just be listening. So, if he does get to, oh,
Hi there, I'm here. Sorry about that. How are you all?
Yes. There we are. Sorry. Great. Thank you.
there's a specific question we want to kind of
Okay.
target.
Yeah.
Go
So
ahead.
I have a couple things. This is Andrea Downs. I have a couple things, looking at your budget. And I think that you and your board did a really, good job, but we have some situations that, were beyond our control with the, Region One budget coming in really high for, the
Sure.
town of Canaan this year. So that's concerning to us. So two very specific things, and I understand that we can't ask you to cut a particular part of your budget or make recommendations, but my first question is around the new program that you are proposing. Um, and I know very little about your staffing in your school at this time, but would it be possible if you were to move forward with that program to use your current staff, since you are not going to put a certified teacher in that
Mhm.
position? Is it possible, and you don't have to answer this today, but you can talk about it with your board, to use the staff that you currently have to make that program work? I'm a little concerned about how many families will be able to use it without afternoon transportation, but I also understand how expensive transportation is. And that leads me to my second question. Um, I'm not in town very often at the end of the school day, but when I am, I can see the number of parent pickups. And I'm wondering if there's the possibility of going to one bus instead of two, um, since one bus holds more than the entire population at our school currently. And I know that transportation is a huge number generally. So that might be an area where we might consider being creative and reducing some costs.
Sure.
Those are
Yeah, I
just,
can definitely. No, that's a great suggestion. I can reach out to Sam Herrick and All Star Transportation to see what they may be able to do. I believe state law requires us to make sure that we offer transportation for every student enrolled. And I believe there are some laws around how long students can be on the bus. So I'm not sure in terms of like routes, how long a route would be for one bus. So I imagine there's probably uh, some work that All Star would need to do to see if that is a possibility. So I will definitely reach out to them and see what they might be able to do for us. That's a great suggestion.
great. Thank you.
Welcome.
Andrew, this is Tom Wilson.
Hi, how
Um,
are you?
good. How are you?
I'm well, thank
Uh,
you.
good. I was wondering if you have anything on the schedule for a board discussion and or vote for the allowing students into the traditional kindergarten.
Mhm.
Last we talked, I think they were leaning towards letting schools decide.
Yes, it is on our agenda for our upcoming meeting, which I believe is Tuesday, May 5th.
All right, thank you.
You're welcome.
What time is that meeting at?
5 p.m.
Any other thoughts?
The health insurance is, I mean, it's not gonna make a huge dent, but the family plan, coverage plan, I'm still very uncomfortable putting it forward unless you have some updated policy that you all have.
Right now, we're working for the policy. I spoke with our attorney and he went over where we are, what we have, went over all our documents, including some ordinances that we had in our ordinance book regarding the town clerk and the treasurer. And it is his feeling at this point in time that we should work toward a policy. We don't have anything, and his feeling is to get something together in a month for this, particular cycle would be problematic.
So, I mean, if that is the case, I'd have to say I would not be confident approving a budget with offering an employee a family plan, one employee a family coverage without a, fairness outline there. So, I mean, it's probably not a huge amount of money from what I kind of tried to figure. It's, yeah, but I'm thinking.
Right, but part of the problem with looking at the increase, Tom, is we're working, again, I understand everything you're saying, okay? But again, we're looking at numbers, and because our budget in a lot of lines are small, when you see an 18-20% increase, it's not a great deal of money. Money is money. Don't get me wrong. Don't misinterpret what I'm saying, but it would appear to be larger because of the facts, like the percentages.
Yeah, I'm not looking at the percentage, I'm
No.
looking at the dollars at this point, and the dollars rate for that one are significant.
Yes,
It's
So,
not the whole amount.
It's 11% increase
right.
overall for health insurance.
Right.
Then it's also the increase of the health insurance for an employee that was approved
Last year.
last year,
Right.
and then the family plan. So that whole number is not the family.
But we
I
need
just
to
want- I just
know,
want you-
yeah, I'm guessing, I don't know if my calculations were correct, but my guesstimate for, and it really could be way off of the cost of the family plan. I mean, how much did you think that would increase the budget by? Like,
I would have to look, I can't.
so this is information that is really.
If I may offer this also, Amy, we have a meeting, the selectmen, I have to put the meeting out. We have a meeting on Thursday afternoon at 1:00 with a particular individual from a company that gave a little seminar, lunch and learn. I sent that to you. I'm not sure if you were able to watch that or even look at
About health insurance?
about health insurance.
Specifically for the municipality.
Yes.
Okay. And so what is it that you're saying?
I want to see what they have to offer and how they offer it, so on and so forth. Again, I'm going to be right up front with you, Amy. We don't have any real policy, and this is something that we have to work
Right.
towards putting in. But what we do have in the past was we do have 2 ordinances having to do with that. And then again, we have to talk about hours. We have to decide what is full-time, what is part-time, okay, and how those hours fall.
I totally understand. I'm just saying, as a Board of Finance member, I'm not comfortable approving the addition of a family coverage for an employee for this fiscal year without having done due diligence. That's just my personal opinion. And I know you're working towards due diligence and you're doing research, and I would like to know what the number is, for additional family plan, of course. But even regardless of the number, I just don't. I think it's a can of worms, and you can't open that until you spelled out what's in that can of worms to everybody. So it's nothing, I think you're doing the right thing right now. It's just not matching our timeline here. And of course, I would love to be competitive and offer lots of benefits to our employees because I think they're amazing. I just, it's not responsible, both fiscally and otherwise, to approve that, in my opinion.
I think the other thing that we have to look at, and again, we look at the salaries of our individuals here. And if I go back a little bit historically, and picking the brains of some of our previous first selectmen, they've always looked at the amount of money, our salaries that we have paid, and always said they do fall under what other towns do. I think we had this discussion actually the other day, when we were talking about selectmen's compensation. And again, no complaint from me. As I said, you better look in the future if you want someone to do the job. Okay. But I believe that in talking with our previous selectmen, that their feeling always was we're offering a lesser amount in salary, so we've always tried to compensate. with that medical.
Yep, that's great. Just wouldn't do family plan until you have crossed all your Ts and dotted all your Is. You know, and if you can do it before we propose a budget, it'll help us, you know, but, so that's one thing is I don't know what that number is. And the other thing is, you know, I don't know what's behind, you know, these numbers. And I don't need to, and picking,
No, because they're all such, they're,
Yeah,
each
it's so
line item is so
small.
small, so it's
Yeah.
hard to say
yeah, but,
which would be.
yeah, but I don't know if we could do as much as I want, and I know we need to do $20,000 in the truck reserve. You know, I know that's important. It's just, it's catching up. But it, you know, I don't know if we can afford to do that. I want to, but it's gonna be a problem. It adds pressure. You know, of course, I really want to do that. Now, I do have another question. Maybe Michelle can help. So, you know, our projected, you really do, you know, due diligence to give us our projected revenue. But the interesting thing to me when we end up, you know, in June or July is, you know, we have a lot more money than we thought because it's very hard to predict.
Yeah.
You know, because, we didn't spend in this line, we didn't spend in that line. And, you know, I just, you know, I would hate to have us do any increase if we, you know, if we aren't predicting, you know, well, what our general fund is going to hold. I mean, it usually, in the past, it's been like close to $1 million, if not $1 million or over, like every year because of things we can't project or we have a hard time projecting. And then it's so awkward, you know, that we have a mill in there when we didn't need a mill in there. We just raised the mill rate. So it's very frustrating. I wish we could be better projectors or predictors of what the revenue will be, you know, of the unspent funds and things.
Well, I think a point that was made would be that we really need to see the expenses. If you're gonna be a better predictor, you can't look at the budget.
You have to look at the projected expenses, or
The
is
actual
that what you're saying?
expenses.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And
you have to look at the actual expenses to see why, I mean, and I hope that would be part of it because you really have to use that as your guidance to say what, you know, maybe I need the line, maybe I need $500,
Right.
maybe do I really need, you know, and I know we're nitpicking at this point, but that's how it's gonna,
yeah,
So,
it's going to be addressed. And then the other question obviously is in the education budget is we're gonna have, I mean, we can't control that big percentage.
no, I can't even imagine going there. The only thing I can imagine doing is saying, I'm deeply, deeply sorry, but I can't see approving the early education program. I mean, it's not up to us, as Andrea pointed out, a budget that includes, you know, that much of an increase. But honestly, it's just so little money. It's just so
I know.
frustrating.
Well, but then you talk about but it's not just the salary, it's also the furniture, it's also the benefits, you know, it's the whole thing. So it was I mean, I was looking at 32,000, 33,000 is what we were looking at. So, that's why I was asking, is it possible to be creative with the staffing that they have? I mean, I just feel like you have to ask the question. You know, can't. And also, my next question around that actually would be, is when we have this huge increase at the high school, is it the right year to bring a new program to Kellogg? And I just,
Can we bear that? Yeah.
right, you know, and I don't
But
want,
we can also say to the board that we don't feel, you know, maybe so if we ask them to make cuts that equate to 45,000, for example. And at that point, it's up to them to determine.
Fine.
where
Right, where they're
We
gonna
can't
find
say
it,
where.
correct.
Yeah, we can't say.
So, I mean, we can make that
Yes,
request.
yep,
Um,
and that is how we're gonna have to make the request.
we're gonna have to,
If,
but
you know.
you've definitely given Andrew something to think about.
Right, well, that's why.
Mhm.
You know what would make this budget easier for us, I think, I don't know, I'm sorry to do this.
Yeah.
But the Board of Ed budget, actually, like, when you look at it, it gives you like how much they're actually expending for the year or anticipated expending for the year. And ours just has the exact, not like the estimated expenditure is the same as the
Yeah.
approved or amended budget.
It would be.
It would be
interesting to have what
easier
would
for us to know
actually
what we're
expended.
actually spending, even if we could see what we spent year to date
Actually,
in
that
each
would
of
be
those
the one you
lines,
want.
right?
Actual
So,
expenditure date.
The year to date would be.
Yeah.
Would be the key.
Yes.
yes, would you be able to add that line for us? So then we would really know if we're
something hasn't
budgeting
been spent.
appropriately or not, or if there's room to
Mhm.
make adjustments. Well, it would help you decide if there's room for adjustments.
I probably can take out the estimated column and add year to date, cause. I
Yeah, that
can't
would be
make it
great.
work.
Actually, that would be great.
Do we have
Yeah.
our monthly?
Yeah, we do have it.
Yeah.
You do, but not in this format. This format's easier to read. Like,
agree.
I mean,
I'm
because
saying,
it's,
but for now, to base
have
on
it for
to look
now.
at that
Yeah.
value
Yeah.
to see where we are.
I
yeah.
didn't
Right.
bring my last one, but.
Oh,
you
I
have
think
it.
I have mine.
Yeah.
So,
So just a comment
Um,
to follow up with Andrea there. It's unfortunate that Kellogg has to suffer based on the Region One's increase, because that's really what's happening, right? We're forcing Kellogg to make additional cuts
yeah.
to compensate for a program that our town may need and will need next year because the Region One budget is so outrageous. So that's really painful for me. But
It is.
I understand at the end of the day, we have to do some things. Can I, Madam Chair, can we come to a consensus at the table to on what the shortfall really is?
Yeah.
I've looked at the spreadsheet that Amy always provides that came from Dick Hines. It's really valuable.
Yeah.
Can we at least start there and agree that that's where we're looking at? And with maybe with Michelle's help to see what we might be missing.
I don't know what.
I know. We'll share that with you. I just want to make sure that.
I actually have it. I've been working with it and working, and I took your numbers, but that's why.
Yeah,
it was a couple
your
of-
stuff's in.
Plugged them in there. I wanted to see what it would do. At this point, we're looking,
So it's hard.
without any increase, it's about 600, a deficit would be 656,000. That's projecting your current, that's updating the general fund projection or the general fund balance in the audit. So it's 656, and that's with no reserve, taking nothing from the general. So but taking our property tax at 100,
Of course.
I'm not getting that.
I know it.
okay.
That's okay.
I have started with the municipal of 2.6. Amy, is that what you have?
Yeah.
Which is 600,436. It's got the education of 4,243,305.
Right.
And then
That's the total of 741.
it is.
Okay.
And then I have the budgeted revenue
For state and local,
of 688,000.
634. Okay.
So I come to a required of 6,155,107.
I don't have 6 million. I not. I have 66,860,741 minus the 688.
Yep.
34. I don't know why, but I get 6,172,107. Am I something wrong? It could be.
Pulling from the revenue budget that we have for projected for next year of 688. That's the all non-property tax.
And you take that from the 6.8.
Yeah, just checking my formula.
Okay. I mean, I have been known to be wrong.
So I'm at 6,155.
Aha, okay.
Let's see if we can-
6860 minus 688, 634.
Yeah.
So that's absolutely, I didn't do that right. Am I?
And then we took our grand list. And, that at the current mill rate.
Nope, so I get 6,172,107 as far as property tax revenue required.
Two different spreadsheets calculated differently. I love
I'm sorry, but I also did it by a calculator just. So anyway,
We're talking about 17,000.
yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
I was gonna say, I
Okay.
got it in,
It's not gonna.
just got it in Excel.
In our grand list, do you have it at
245.
039?
Yep.
239?
Yeah.
Okay.
Or not right here.
So if I'm looking at the difference between the revenue that we would generate at the current mill rate to what we are going to need for revenue, we've got a shortfall. 656. Which would be a mill rate increase of 2.68.
Okay, so you.
What percentage, well, they're different spreadsheets, what percentage of the shortfall comes from Region 1 and contracts that can't be changed? To bit, because apparently
I don't know that we can go back to Region 1 right now and tell
This
them.
is pulling
it's not,
from
it's,
the
it's,
revenue budget.
it's not a matter of being able to get to zero, because I don't think we can.
I know, but but I don't think we're gonna get any out of the Region 1 budget,
I've had that happen.
unfortunately.
Just do it in a calculator.
So the-
Get that.
Are other towns down or less expensive because their student base has gone way down?
So what it's happened is our,
Based on percentage.
it is, but it's our proportion of students at the high school has increased. So some went,
I thought it was by one student.
so ours was
It means other towns must have a lot less.
less students, some of them do, yes.
Even though North got $1 million, they could have more.
So
they could have less
we actually went down by one
students. Right.
one
It was Division
student,
one.
but
Mhm.
Cornwall went down by 4, Kent went down by 6, North Canaan by 2, Salisbury by 10, and Sharon by 4. So everybody went down
More than us.
more than we did.
So the redistribution
Yeah.
increases us.
Right.
Yeah, so we're stuck
I
with
don't know how
that.
you
You
cannot
know,
fix
and
that.
change that.
I don't know how you fix that.
The only thing that I can say is that I'm not sure how many students are seniors this year, but we're only sending 2 to the high school next year.
Mm.
So our November number is going to be
Lower.
lower. So that, but I don't know what the other towns are going to look like. So that's always the
Yeah.
unknown factor.
Yeah,
So-
yeah.
Every year we apply the Band-Aids, and then this year it looks like we're moving to a tourniquet.
Yeah.
All right, and and then potentially we're looking at battlefield surgery, because we have to stop it somewhere. I don't know how we do that, and obviously we can augment by increasing revenue, which is great, but we have not moved that needle at all. So for this year, we can't do anything about that. So because of what we're looking at, I mean, I propose, I have like 40 things in a list that I think we can either reduce or scratch. But I don't think, I mean, that's not gonna be $600,000.
No, right.
So,
Mm.
and I would like to see some of these things change anyway, because I think there's things in here I don't think we just can afford to do this year. But the goal should be coming out of this, that even if we have a mill rate increase to compensate for the shortfall, if we don't get ahead of it for next year, this year,
Mhm.
we keep saying it, but we don't,
Right.
we
Yeah,
don't do it.
Exactly.
we're gonna be back to this table next year
Mhm.
doing the same thing, but probably worse.
Right.
Mhm.
Yep.
Yeah.
So the other
Excellent.
thing that is not in our favor, but Dave, the cog talked about was the fact that we can never lower our per pupil expense. So as it's been increasing, the law does not actually allow us to make the appropriate cuts to decrease the per pupil expense. So whatever that number is right now for Kellogg, was,
Right.
it never goes down. But our number of students goes down,
Mhm.
so, there,
So is there like a
Mandate.
minimum for that per pupil?
it's whatever it is right now, can't go below it.
So what it is for current year?
Correct. They allowed us the state allows a one-time reduction, and we took it when I was on the board.
See that?
Right. So, if
Yeah.
it just, and,
Okay.
but there's opportunity if we could take advantage of some of those things.
So there are a few things that we can take advantage of possibly in some budget cuts. It's very minimal. I would love to hear more about budget revenue projections. Is there anything in your list of, did you say 40?
No, geez.
What did you say?
That's smart.
Yeah.
I have like
Like 8 to 10.
8 to 10.
One of them is not really revenue, it's restructuring some of the expenses.
Okay, so of the others, are there any that would make a dent?
I don't know.
Hard to say.
I think there's some inroads into making some dents. I don't know how big those dents are because I don't have the data behind them. I would have to talk to tax collector, treasurer, some of the stuff. But some of the things I had here was, and I'm going to rattle off a few.
Sure. No, that'd be great,
Okay.
Tom. Thank you.
Again, we can't act on any of these things this year because we're not in a position to do so. But we should look at taxing short-term rentals as businesses instead of residences, right? There should be a different fee for people who are using their homes as a short-term rental. Other towns do it. Why can't we?
They do get taxed.
Do they get taxed more?
Yeah.
They do.
They to the personal property. They get
So the personal property gets taxed as a commercial,
as no as
Property tax.
Airbnb or whatever.
right? But is
the
it
rental.
taxed differently? Do businesses get taxed differently than residences?
Yes.
Are those short-term
Like a
rental
business.
residences taxed as a business?
As personal property, yes.
No, but is it for businesses property?
The
As a
personal,
business-
the
Personal
personal property
property.
is a business tax. That's
Yes.
Okay.
Right.
Okay.
Right.
Again, I don't know all these things. I just recommend.
Yeah, no,
Yeah.
these are,
Yeah.
I think that there should be we should end the tax abatement for businesses. I feel like we're giving people breaks when, the taxpayers have to pay the bulk, that fee. I don't think that's fair to taxpayers. We can increase the out of town resident pool cost a little bit more, and it's not a lot, but it's something. We can enforce registration of out of town vehicles for people who have full-time residents who have vehicles that are still registered out of town. We should be taxing their cars here, not in whatever town they're at, right?
Depends, yeah.
This was mentioned last year by the Board of Finance, but talking about changing P and Z so that it changes the acreage allowed for building. So maybe we can actually
Yeah,
maybe we can get some new homes that way, increase the grant list. And one of the things that I wrote in here was to complete reevaluation of the transfer station. Again, this is not a revenue, but if you look at what we pay, per resident for the transfer station, things like curbside, pay as you throw, shortened hours. I don't believe we charge a fee for haulers. They come in for free. We should be charging them like other towns do. An increase to business stickers, because we have some businesses that really take advantage of, what they pay. And it does not correlate with the amount of garbage they bring in. I think pay as you throw is a solid solution. It not only does it generate more income, it also reduces your tonnage.
And it's
Studies
safer.
show 20 to 30% reduction, which means less hauls, right? You pay less tipping fees. It's an across the board win. Okay, it does mean we have to provide bags for residents at a cost $1, $2 per bag, whatever. But almost every single town that has instituted pay as you throw has reduced their waste removal costs significantly.
Interesting.
So it's not something that's palatable to some people, and that's fine. But when we're desperate to find ways to save money, and again, that's not a revenue thing. That's more of a restructuring.
Right, all right.
So I think those are some things, right? And if we're already taxing the short-term rentals, great. I didn't know that, and that's fantastic.
Fine. It's just like the cars, where they're claiming their residence.
Right. I just think that there's opportunities that we can. Some of these are easier than others. Paying what we pay at the transfer station to do that. It's costly, and I think that we have to think about it. I looked at Goshen's costs for their curbside. They're looking at somewhere around $295 per resident per cost based on their budget and number of residents or households. Ours is closer to 400. So maybe there's an opportunity to reduce that.
You mean for their garbage? They have to pay their own. My mother lives in Goshen. She pays the garbage guy.
So Goshen actually, so what does Goshen pay for then in their budget? They
have
spend
no
a lot of money to mirror.
I have no idea, but my mother has to pay a monthly bill to the garbage pickup guy.
Recycling, I didn't have to pay recycling.
Recycling is a fee for recycling as well. So
Well, that's when I was there, it wasn't. but
Yeah.
What they do, they budget so much to
know.
mirror.
But
Okay,
yeah,
which
like a
doesn't
$34
exist
a month
anymore.
Fee or something
Yeah.
for garbage.
As a-
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, she has to pay for garbage pickup in
Yeah, we have
Goshen.
to pay for garbage.
Right.
It might be subsidized.
Maybe
Might
it's
be.
subsidized,
It
right?
Might be,
Okay.
yeah, it would
I
be
mean,
a subsidy.
my thought is pay as you throw is really the solution.
All I know is I thought it was really expensive compared to ours. So
What it does, Tom, is, and I like that idea, is it, believe it or not, it gives residents the opportunity to make choices.
Mhm.
There are choices, there's not always, we have one, which is the transfer. You could do, some people choose to have dumpsters and small dumpsters and have that fit in. There are choices, it's not like you have to. Goshen, I think, kind of leans people towards that, but you don't have to choose it. You could have
Sure.
some other option.
I mean, with the volatility of what's coming with waste management, it's better if we can get residents to be more mindful of what they're disposing instead of having people bring in, every week huge truckloads of stuff to throw away. They'd be paying more, so they'd be mindful of what they purchase and what they get rid of.
So there are only two big sources right now to address part of the gap. One is the sale of the old firehouse, and I'm not in the position to say, hey, sell it next year or else, but we need that income temporarily while we figure out some things. And let's say, you get a mill's worth of income. You at least would get a mill's worth of income. And the other chunk of change is is to go down to the general fund and patch it so that we're keeping 10% of our general fund in there. There's not a lot of answers here. And that would also provide almost a mill. And then maybe you also ask for some cuts, here and there, so that you make up that difference in revenue. So I mean, if I were to just in the revenue here, just gonna throw it up. Anyway, so we need big numbers at this point. It's a big chunk that we're addressing. And those are only two big, those are only sources for some big numbers.
And if you pull 150 out,
Of what?
wherever, let's say top side,
Of
reduce
the
your
budget?
expenses by 150,
Oh, okay.
wherever that comes from.
Okay.
I mean, you at that point would have about 90,000 out of the general fund that could be used towards. You still have a 2.11 increase
Yeah,
in your month.
but if you added the sale of the firehouse.
Well,
Yeah, but you don't.
but that's been going on for how long?
And another year. This is absurd. I had proposed to Dave that, instead of dealing with an abatement, issue. We're waiting, we are at the mercy of the ends owners, lawyers to respond to Dave about the abatement.
I'm sorry, but that's not true. I'm involved in what's going on
Oh,
at the end, and I
okay.
know exactly what it is.
Well,
not
I'm
trying to
just
interrupt you,
repeating
I'm
what,
sorry.
Dave told me, is
Okay,
that
so
That,
it's in their ballpark right
yeah,
now.
we'll continue with it. I understand what you're saying. I think if it does happen, it's gonna be
Right.
a bonus, but I don't think we
Right.
should.
I don't think we can count on it.
at all.
Yes.
I think
Right,
we have, I
maybe,
know,
yeah.
know where you're coming from, maybe, but personally, I just don't think you can count on it. When it happens, then we as a Board of Finance hopefully can give some advisement on what's next. And I don't,
Yeah, we don't want
Well,
to kind
yeah, we're gonna have to raise the mill rate then,
I mean,
because,
right.
yeah,
I mean, for another discussion is how long do we go on trying to work that out, but that's something else. Like, how many years are we gonna keep paying money
well,
for
here's the thing,
that building?
is we may not be there this year, but in coming years, there's gonna be some much harder cuts.
Mhm.
Like, nobody wants to see the library lose their funding, but that could happen.
Right,
It could happen. We don't have the money. We can't give it away.
among
Right.
many.
Right. I'm just saying, like, there's a lot of programs in this town that we fund, and because we're a small town, we do that. But at some point, those things may have to change because we can't afford the residents aren't gonna be able to afford to live here.
Right.
so I think another important thing is, too, is this committee to look at the schools that
yes.
I mean,
that
the ABC. What are
no,
you talking
no,
about?
they're putting together a committee to look at whether
Oh.
we have the best model of schools in our communities. Does it make sense to combine schools, have a regional middle school, like, there's lots of options. But there's an huge opportunity for savings for all of the communities by changing the current model. And so that's something else that I think needs to be very seriously looked at as we are challenged with how do we continue to fund our communities.
It's just.
And it's an emotional,
Years away.
it's an emotional topic.
Oh, of
Well, I
course.
would hope that they could make a decision in a year
Short
and
term.
then
Yeah.
take a
Build.
second year to put it into place.
You can drive down to Westport and see how they have no public schools because they shut it down because they couldn't afford it anymore.
Yeah,
I know. I'm just saying, if you don't have the money, you don't have the money. You can't magically make it appear unless you really pursue revenue choices. And I'm not the best person to come up with revenue choices because that's not my job, right? There should be other people who have done this before to figure out how we increase revenue, right? That's what we should be doing, is tangible ways to increase that line, because the expenses are just going to, next year, even if they keep the budgets as lean as they gave it to us this year, it's still going to be more.
Right.
Teachers' contracts and all that stuff are going to increase it. So if we don't get ahead of it, everything else is just, we've kicked the cans for several years
I
now.
know. I know, I've come to all the meetings.
The thought process of what was you talked about per pupil cost. So what was it this current year?
Do you happen to know that, Andrew, off the top of your head?
It's a high school or he?
No,
It's around 15,000.
No, it's
No, I'm
in
sorry,
the
it's around
30s.
30,000.
Right.
For
Yeah.
last year.
Wait.
Right.
Well, how many
It was.
students are at Kellogg right now?
82.
Should I understand?
It says it.
It's there. Right.
Wait a second, I have their budget right here.
Yeah.
Kellogg.
It's here.
So,
There's a number of students.
Oh, wait.
72.
70. Okay, 72.
I was right on.
And
That was 30.
was last year was, okay.
It's predicted to go up next year.
Right, right, we can go there.
33, 198?
Yeah.
So, I mean, you make a point that we can't go over 33, well, we can't go below 33, 198. So what would that, how many students are they projecting?
Just, it's a big jump call.
Well, For the high school or for Kellogg?
That's Kellogg.
So Kellogg, they're saying 14 potential for kindergarten, but only 5 have registered. So I can tell you, I know some of these kids are not coming to Kellogg next year. So I think we'd be lucky if we had 10.
Is it that the per pupil cost can't decrease, or is it the budget that can never decrease?
No, it's the per pupil cost. So they're at 33,198 right now per pupil. They can't go below that.
Yeah, I thought Sharon just went through a process where they got a special dispensation from
Well,
the
We did it once already.
Well, but the state still up to decrease the school budget by 70 some odd $1,000 because the total number of students decreased.
Right. So, but their per pupil cost didn't go down. They just decreased their budget. You can
Yeah,
decrease
but
the
they still
bottom.
needed special permission from the state to make that decrease.
They just tried to come to a zero budget.
But our per pupil cost is going down in this coming budget.
Well, if we have 14 kindergartners, we're not gonna have 14.
You do off of 84 without
EK.
the early.
No, I know.
If I take the 84 divided by the 2.49, I'm gonna come up with 29,651. So that is a decrease.
Right, but they're saying they're gonna have 14 kids. They're using that number. We're not using a good number.
So we actually are, what are we violating if it per pupil is not supposed to go down? I'm just taking numbers.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
that's the only thing we can do. We can never defend them then.
I'm following your train of, thought here. I mean, we're down to 29,651.
Even with those.
So that's a decrease.
And I mean, I was under the impression, and my tenure here is limited, so that the school budget can't decrease from one year to the next. Once you're at a particular budget level, you can never decrease it. So effectively, the best way to
So the
maintain a school
100,000.
budget is you hold it at zero.
You hold it at zero.
And since the high school budget appears in the Kellogg budget, we make the total at a 0% increase to the our Board of Education, if they get to figure out where the money gets cut.
But that 0% would equate to about $100,000.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that's exactly what you're.
because it would be 100,000. Yeah.
Yeah.
But to me, it looks as though it would be 309,000.
No, just for
That's-
Kellogg.
That's the region.
That's the
I
region.
don't care. This is part of their budget.
Uh,
They're presenting this as part of their budget.
But they have no influence over the Region One budget.
That's their problem. They're presenting it as part of
They
their
won't be able
budget.
to cut it.
They won't be able to do
You
it.
can ask them to cut it, they won't do
We
it.
can,
You can't.
but Ginger, you had a premise.
understand.
It wasn't a motion, but you
Yeah.
had a
No, but
premise
it's
that you
in-
were describing that,
We have no
we
control
asked
over the
municipal and Board of
They have
Ed
more
to,
control
to
over the-
cut by 150,000.
Yeah.
That together with maybe increasing how much we take from the general fund from 12.5 to 10%, not advisable according to the auditors. But
150.
that still brings it, our mill rate would go from 22.44, at least according to this spreadsheet, I could be wrong, to 23.65. It's still over a mill increase. But those are big chunks of money. If, and I understand that people do not want to bank on selling the firehouse, so that's not an option. I wish we could, because that would make me.
I know. But we can ask for the $150,000 cut.
They're gonna do that.
I don't either, but if we divide it between the two budgets.
Well, I would do 50 from Board of, well, I don't know.
Well, I was thinking the same thing. I was thinking 50 from the Board of Ed,
100.
100 from the municipal budget. And then when we go to hearing, that is when we are going to hear from the community whether they feel that this is a threshold that they can support or not,
Right.
right?
Somebody want to throw a motion out there?
I
Or
have one more question. Can we ask the treasurer to
Yeah. Run the numbers.
if she knows, if she has any, if there's any revenue or monies that that are kind of held up that might free itself up. Like last year, we had an appropriation that just did not get fully utilized, and that came back into the general fund, right? What are we looking at there? I mean, we had that number at the end of the revenue sheet from last year's 219,000. Where do we think that may land? I mean, we're projecting a number, right? But
Yeah, I mean, I can't predict conveyance tax. If we have a huge sale, that's what helps us.
That's what happened last year.
Mhm.
But we got the Aquarian refund last year.
Yeah.
we have nothing coming new from the power plant. We don't know anything about that yet, right?
I can't answer for that. I don't know the answer about that. That would be a tax collector, assessor question. I don't know when they start paying on that.
But with the two numbers we
Well, it'll
have,
be on the grand list.
so
the
Yeah, no, it's-
219,000 in what we had appropriated for the general fund, which was amended to 221. And then you have the estimated need at 137.
I do, because we did get some prior year taxes, some interest.
I'm just
Our
thinking-
building permits are already over collected.
What can we do
our
with that
bulky
number?
waste, I believe, is already over collected or close, maybe when I enter, I can't right off the top of my head.
Fee increases.
Yeah,
Yeah, but it's like $90,000 there, right?
it is between all it and what I estimate in building permits for the next 2 months. I mean, I can only estimate as close as and I don't know.
That's
Because-
another, but
Yeah, then we'll be in more trouble.
Stuff, that's, where.
so that's another 90,000 that we might not be needing to appropriate. It would go back into the general fund.
because we didn't, I mean, last year we used none of our appropriation.
Well, this year we have used
And
some.
this year, we're at a point of using 137.
At this point, I mean, that's why I'm giving it to you
Couple
each
more
week,
months,
because if
sure.
something big comes in, there it is, but
Right.
I can't guarantee. The past 2 years, we've had stuff right at the end, a conveyance tax, I believe, a fee or something that we got. I would love it to come across my desk, but I don't know.
Well,
I'm ready for that.
I'm thinking. I think it might be advisable to think that we're going to have roughly $90,000. Whatever the difference is between these two. To put into play, because I don't want to ignore that. It's our responsibility not to ignore
Right,
that.
We also have count on it.
Yeah,
Mm.
but we're, everything is a prediction. And it's, we have 2 more months to go. And,
I will say there's a guaranteed education cost sharing payment coming, and there was a low set money that is coming.
we don't know how much that
In
is.
my estimate, but they are not in what we've already collected because we don't have it yet. So there is
They're
money
in your estimate.
They're in your
in the estimate, but so
Okay.
that's gonna get us closer to what that estimate is, really, when that's done.
So between between these two numbers, that's almost $84,000. And, I mean, we could, this is where I think we need to anticipate that, hey, we have 2 months left of the year. It looks like we're not likely to use all of the appropriated funds. Let's count on that $80,000 going back in so that we don't penalize,
For nothing.
Yeah,
right.
That we possibly
yeah.
would have.
Yeah. So, I don't know what other people think about that.
From experience, that was a factor at the end of the
A lot of
previous
times it has been.
budget seasons. It was a factor, but
Yeah, but it's still.
So now I'm down to. Oh no, never mind.
So before we make a motion to make a recommendation, do we have a number, a percentage of that shortfall that we're trying to hit as a target? Or are we just gonna go with a number and hope that people can go and make the appropriate cuts? So
We can
Amy's
throw a
tracking
percentage
dollars,
on
so-
there. I just threw a number just to keep, just because that was what I had,
Right,
but we could,
so how does that work if you,
I mean,
Because we're looking at the number for the shortfall.
yep.
We know what that mill rate increase is based on that shortfall.
Mhm.
We take away certain numbers, like what we just talked about.
Take away
We can
80,000 of
reduce this,
that.
reduce that, take some
yeah,
of that.
reduce it?
That gets us to what number, what's that mill rate? Are we comfortable there?
Gets
And
us
we make
to
a recommendation to the Board of
230.
Selectmen and Board of Education to make
Right.
some changes.
So that's less than a mill
It's
increase
Nearly impossible.
now. I mean, so, we have three ideas on the floor. One is a possible motion to have the budgets be cut. We have a possible motion to change the percentage of, how much we can use from our general fund, how much we can leave in our general fund.
Right.
And we have a possible motion to, predict that we're going to have $80,000 left over in the general fund allocation from this year to put back in.
Mhm.
So,
I think you
I think
could,
that's likely.
right, but I think
Most
from a
likely.
motion perspective, an actionable task
Yeah,
is to do the recommendation for reductions first, see what comes back, then you're gonna look at what
Mhm.
percentage we're comfortable with keeping,
Right.
what things, and then we're further along, we can have a better idea of what can actually.
well, you know what else? We'll also know if the Region One board budget passed.
Exactly.
like you say, it's pretty sure.
I think that it is, my gut feeling is it
overpowers
is,
us,
but,
even if we voted no, I think.
but we can see, I mean, that will give us a definitive number, you know? If it doesn't pass, then it doesn't.
It's good.
So side
Doesn't give us-
question, if all the residents of Falls Village vote no, but the other towns vote yes, then it passes.
It passes.
It's not like
Yes,
it's,
No,
correct, yeah.
is it total number of votes of yes?
total
and
number
no?
of votes, yes.
Mhm.
Wasn't sure if towns had something.
Right, but
Sure
that
they
would
do.
give us something to work with, like we would know for sure, so, I mean.
I'm gonna assume that we know for sure.
Traditionally,
Yeah.
Salisbury and Sharon can't have carried the votes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So,
They
They have their grand lists.
I think Tom is right as far as the order of what we need to do,
Mhm.
because of course, we can do that allocation when we have our discussion about the mill rate. We can do but you do need to look at changing if people are open to it, changing the percentage that you're gonna leave in the general fund. That does require a motion
Mhm.
at some point. Because we have a policy where you don't do that. So, I would go just putting it out on the table. I'll make a motion that we ask the Board of Ed to reduce by $50,000 and we ask the Board of Selectmen to reduce by 100,000. I don't know, I mean, they've tried this before and they haven't been able to do it, but
So
they've
that's
done
your
some.
motion, okay?
I'll second it.
Just to keep it moving.
Okay, I'll second it.
Amy, could you repeat the motion? I'm sorry.
That the Board of Finance asked the Board of Ed to reduce their budget, the Kellogg budget by $50,000. And the Board of Selectmen should reduce the municipal spending plan by $100,000. I mean, that's what we've.
100,000?
It's for a section.
Who seconds?
I did.
Andrea.
That we it's actually, it's a recommendation,
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a recommendation.
Yeah.
Recommendation.
yeah, not a request, sorry.
And with the understanding that, that's a discussion, right?
Yes.
With the understanding that even if they were able to pull that off, that still gets to $500,000 deficit.
Yeah, so we have this motion on the table.
Is it open for discussion?
Yes.
May I discuss?
Yeah.
I just want to point out just a couple things here. Okay. We also have to take into account the rate of inflation. This piece of paper costs more today than it cost last year. And I think when I look at our road budget, what we did a number of years ago, it was a mile of road to replace. And I had actually two residents come to me today and ask about, what's our plan to fix roadways. and minus any grants we might get or anything like that. Years ago, it was 1 mile of road repair a year. I'm thinking now, and I have our DPW manager here, but I would ask him, with currently what we have in the budget, how much of a road would we get? How many miles?
About 8/10 of a mile. Good. I have not raised that item line. We basically do less road because.
Right.
Mhm.
So, again, I use that only as the barometer in saying it is going to be at best difficult with the rate of inflation and so on to cut $100,000 from the budget.
It's only 30 miles of road in town at 8/10 of a mile has to last 30 years,
Right.
which it doesn't.
But you know, if the school can cut one school bus, it's $82,000.
Really?
Yeah. So,
Yes.
right. That's why I was trying to go after big money things.
Do we want to amend that?
No, nope. I want to see if they come back with it. They might come back with more and surprise us, and I'll be happy.
I'd like to see the school budget be cut by the full amount that they're in for the. I don't know that, but.
It's not possible because many of the items are not things they actually have any control over, such as the union contracts.
Right, I realize that, but I still would like to see it cut by the total amount of their increase.
Okay, but you know what that would do.
Yes.
Yes, okay, but that would take up, your controlled items, and you would spend less than you did last year. Because you'd have to make up all those contractual obligations by cutting all the ones that, yeah, I wouldn't support that, but I would like to see, if the big number could be there. Why don't you want to amend my motion?
I don't, because I want to see, Andrew said he would look into it, and I want to let him do that, and maybe they'll surprise us, and that's the only change they have. We'll see what comes up.
Okay, so you have a motion. And Martin was talking.
Because it might not be possible, but to me, it looks like it. I mean, if the bus is in full and you're going, I mean, how long can it take to drop off all those kids?
Well,
That's
I know
the thing.
that.
They only have
I know
33 miles
Piper's
road to cover.
Yeah, right. But we don't have to
In an
all
hour.
of them, so.
And Piper's trip is almost 30 minutes because
Yeah.
she's on the first one picked up and she goes all over town.
Right.
I mean,
Right, so I don't think
as you
it's,
said, there may be some legalities of how
Mhm.
long they can be allowed to stay.
On the bus, yeah.
right,
So, I mean, I think it's great. It's a good idea,
Right.
right?
so, okay.
Any further discussion?
Um,
No.
may I suggest, so we can't ask the board of selectmen to cut certain things, right?
You
But
can.
could we entertain
Can't on
a,
Board of Select,
The select board.
I'm sorry, Board of Selectmen.
Board of Ed, you can't.
I'm sorry, did I say board? I meant
Yeah.
board of selectmen. My apologies. I'm thinking too quickly. We can't ask them to cut certain things, but can we provide a list of things that we think are interesting that they could look at?
Absolutely.
Because there are things in here that I think that certain line items that I believe are frivolous and need to go. Well, but I can't recommend that to you, obviously, but I think that when you're looking for that 100,000, there's some obvious ones in here.
I think that we've done that in the past. You just can't tell them
To do it.
to do
Right.
right.
You can make suggestions.
Yes. Not recommendations or requests, but suggestions.
Any more discussion? All those in favor of recommending to the Board of Ed reduce their budget by 50. And those selections reduce theirs by 100,000. Please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries.
Date.
So, date. Yes, now we have to get into specifics here.
Yeah.
Because
The,
you have to move along.
yeah, we have to keep moving along with ours.
Yes.
And May 5th is next Tuesday.
Which is
Mhm.
the
May 4th is the vote.
Right. May
May 4th.
5th is a log board meeting at 5.
Oh, okay, so when is the vote?
With May 5th is the vote.
May
May
5th is the vote.
Okay.
Oh, it's both.
Oh, yes, okay.
Yeah.
Fourth is the meeting.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
So at this point, we have a couple of things we can. We should
Can we
Right.
meet on the 6th?
get together. Question marks. Folks a bit mad at me. I wanted to look at my calendar. I don't-
So what were you going to propose a meeting date?
Yeah,
Yeah,
so
May
can we meet May 6th?
That's it.
Yep.
Yeah, after,
Would we have the results by then?
yeah, yep.
You'll have.
Oh, well, that night,
Okay.
yeah.
I probably can't do the 6th.
Not
I'm
even by a
gone.
Zoom?
I don't know.
I'm available on the 6th.
I'm either back on the 6th or I'm back on the 8th. I don't know which it's going to be yet.
Okay. I am available on the 6th.
I'm also available.
I'm available for you if you can't meet it.
And this,
Does that help?
that gives them about a
Just
week
let
and a
me
half to, do a lot of work.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay.
Getting into the work email is a
Yeah,
million
yeah.
things.
Ginger, are you free on the 6th?
She's trying to find out. Yeah.
Verify.
Sorry,
You know, you gotta go into,
I see.
And
While
this-
she's doing that, can I just say one thing about I will put the year-to-date expenditures in here instead of the estimate, but please be aware things like paving and fire trucks, inspections and stuff are just happening, so they will be expended, but they're not.
Right.
Can you
going to be-
asterisk those?
I will. There's
Okay.
things that
Yeah.
really don't get, big items that really
don't
don't
get
get
spent.
Right,
I
right,
just
right,
want everybody to be
Yeah,
aware of
fair.
that.
right,
Just asterisk those, that would
I
be
will,
really
yeah.
helpful.
right,
I just,
right,
I
like,
don't wanna confuse the.
yeah.
Thank you so much.
Yeah. No, we understand that, because some things require better weather,
Yeah.
different things, so.
People that think we're
Mhm.
underspent by that much.
Hopefully we'll have no more snow.
Well, you have the estimated.
I do.
Yes, she just.
Right, but I would prefer the year to date.
Yeah, me too.
Right, no, I understand that, I'm just trying to.
Even if it's not reconciled.
Correct.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yep.
So did we go?
the 6th, I can do the 6th,
Okay.
6:15,
Okay, so 6:15,
Agreed.
good?
yes.
Okay.
Okay.
May 6th, 6:15.
Okay.
That'll be here at Town Hall.
Is there something else
Yep, it's fine with me.
going on?
I'm looking, I don't see
Yeah,
anything.
the bar at
Okay.
the end.
That would be nice.
I didn't say that, I'm sorry.
Cross our fingers.
I didn't hear that either.
Okay, do we need, we don't need a motion or anything?
No, not for
No.
that would, so that really, because this was the discussion possible actions, which special meeting is really what our next thing is.
So you want our presentation by the 6th?
Yes, please.
Now, we will have to, Andrew has his meeting on the 4th,
On the 5th.
on the 5th. Oh, same night as,
As the-
The same day as the vote.
That's a day.
Yes. Yes.
so we'll have to request, all right, so.
I'm gonna try to attend that meeting.
But I assume he will be.
If I get out of work on
Between
time.
now and then, yeah.
Oh, he'll
Yeah.
do work. Yeah, he'll
Yeah.
do work because then he'll go back to the.
I will send
Authority.
an email then to him and the chair.
Okay, thank you. Yes. Do we feel like we can set the public hearing date?
I have one more motion I wanna suggest. It's, if people aren't into it, no biggie. But, I would like to make a motion that we allow ourselves a little bit more leeway as far as what's left in the general fund. Currently, it's at, we don't allow ourselves to go below 12.5% of the municipal and Board of Education expenses. And I'd like to make a motion that we give ourselves a little bit more leeway so that we can go down to 10%. We may not decide to do that, but I feel the need for flexibility. So that's my motion.
Can we make that at the next meeting?
You could if you wanted. I don't. You have to do it. But you can't go can't do it at the special meeting.
Well, no, I understand.
Yeah.
You would have to put it.
Yeah.
There has to be a second or we can't.
Yeah. If there's a second,
Strong.
it's fine.
Well, you can't do it to me anyway. This is a special.
So we're working on the
It's
budget.
a motion. It's a motion.
Yeah, she made a motion. Need a second before we can really do anything about it.
Yep.
Yeah.
No second? So, guys, that's fine.
Okay.
And Amy, I'm gonna tell you why, just so.
That's fine.
No, I'm just gonna
Yeah.
tell you my concern.
Yeah.
The only concern I have is down the road, it restricts us for a lot of other opportunities. I mean, I know Dave's working with, the grant committee to kind of look into some other opportunities. Those are the key and where we may need matching funds. So I hate to,
Great.
And once we reach that.
And if
bottom-
we're bonding
if we reach that
with the
bottom
bonds
bracket,
projects
we
and
have
stuff,
to-
we have to have that
yes.
money.
we have to be,
Yeah.
we have to have money in. the
Right. Well, I'm not even saying that we would do it.
No, I
Yeah.
understand,
But-
I understand, but my fear is if we do.
Okay.
I mean,
Well,
we may have to do that based on what we get back from the Board of Ed and the Board of Selectmen, but I'm not ready to do that.
Right. And we might,
Okay.
we'll have more numbers from Michelle too, so we can
Yes.
decide then. But at this
Yeah.
point, with
Mhm.
150,000, if they were able to do that miracle, you're still going from 22.44 mil rate to 24.
Mhm. Okay,
Okay,
well,
just to
we'll see
know
where
that.
we land. Yeah.
Yeah.
So we will have the special meeting on May 6th at 6:15. And we have, at that time, then we can figure out whether I think, how much notice do we need for the public hearing?
2 weeks,
I think we need to set the date.
Then we
I
need to
think
set
I
the
did.
date for the
Yep.
public hearing.
at the next meeting.
No,
Oh, no.
I think we need to set the date now.
So that we could pull it in.
And we may have to present what we have and see where it goes.
Yeah, we had talked about having that meeting on the 15th.
Yeah.
Yep, that was the conversation point.
Mhm.
Friday the 15th.
Yes,
So Board of Finance special meeting on May
6th, yes. And because we'll still have our regular meeting too on
on the 11th.
the 11th. Mhm. So we still want to go with 5:15 for the hearing?
I may not be here.
I definitely won't be here.
And I'm not gonna be here.
No, and I'm not either.
Okay.
I don't get out of work till 7. So that's my new schedule.
No,
You're gonna be here?
my grandson is having prom night, so we're gonna be up in Stockbridge.
Ah,
I'll be the only one here.
It's gonna work.
No,
15
it's not.
doesn't work.
No.
This is for the hearing.
The hearing, yeah.
Right.
Mhm.
Okay.
You may have to put it off till the next week.
How long between the hearing and the town
You
meeting?
need 2 weeks.
2 weeks.
That's gonna put.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
Well, you could look at the 14th or the 18th. I mean, you
Yeah,
could look
could we do,
the
I know it's
16th.
not a Friday, but could we do the 14th?
or the 16th. I mean, I'm not here anyway.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I mean, Hazel still won't be here, but can we do
I'm
the
not either.
14th? Oh.
It's Thursday night for us, but I can skip it.
No, that would be Wednesday night.
No, the 14th.
No, that's
14th.
14th.
Thursday, you're right.
Which,
I know.
I'll skip the firehouse, no big deal.
Yeah,
Okay.
This is
for
important.
this,
Mhm.
yeah.
So can we look at the 14th?
So who is not here for the 14th? I am not. So you have a quorum for the 14th. So you
Yeah.
could do it on the 14th at town hearing.
Yes.
Okay.
That's town hearing on the budget.
Yeah, and I'm also gonna just throw out the 16th in case you want to get weekenders. That's a Saturday.
Well, except none of us can,
Oh,
the
okay.
16th.
Yeah, I'm not
Yeah.
available either.
I'm not here either.
Okay.
So
What time do we normally aim for?
I think you gotta do 7.
I was gonna say, by the time you get to it, yeah.
So
So
are
the
you-
public hearing is 5:14 at 7
Correct.
here at Town Hall.
Do you want to have it here at the town hall? Well, we can't do it at the firehouse, obviously.
Nope, not that night.
It's gonna be
you
a lot of
do,
people get in this one.
Mm. Well, we would have to ask the fire department if they'd make an exception.
Or we could move our work night that week.
Yep.
Do you want to
Well-
find out about that, or if not, we'll use the senior
So
center.
I'll talk to the president of the board of directors.
What are you thinking, Michelle?
What?
We can ask the board of directors if we can make it. Well, you have 3 of us sitting here.
Yep. We
Make
can
an
make it.
exception.
We
So-
can make it.
I think we should make an exception.
Although I'm not gonna be here.
I think we should make an
So then you
exception.
don't have to worry about making the work night.
Well, yeah, they
The thing
can.
is, I can talk to Chief. Paul when we get to the
Make an
meeting.
exception, we won't look too hard at the budget.
At 7 p.m. is the suggested
7
time.
PM.
7 p.m.
So it's at the firehouse.
Yeah.
Then we're going out, testing over.
Yeah.
Sounds good.
Then that's the town hearing.
Hey, they might want to be at the hearing.
When is the hearing?
The 14th.
The 14th.
And you're going to put that out, Ginger?
Huh?
You'll put that out the town hearing.
for
Yes.
Johanna to post.
Then when it comes to the town meeting, I'll put that out because then we'll have some ordinances and things like that.
Do we have a date for town meeting yet?
The board of selectmen have to set that,
Yeah.
correct?
And you're thinking just 2
Would have
weeks
to
from then?
be 2 weeks after that.
Okay, so anytime from the 28th on,
The firehouse is not available on the 28th.
But maybe the 29th?
29th.
Right, we have a training on the 28th,
Yeah,
actually.
that isn't gonna work.
29th.
Well, we won't be here.
27th.
We won't be here.
Friday, the 29th.
We had it tentatively scheduled the 29th.
Yeah,
Mhm.
so
Friday the 29th.
I won't be here, Michelle won't be
Oh, that,
here.
yeah. Who else will Hazel be here?
Yes.
Yeah, I'll be back.
She's not going with us this year.
Okay,
Nope. Going before.
so that's a possible date you're thinking of, tentatively?
P and Z. Has a meeting.
On the Thursday.
But on Friday.
You wouldn't be able to use the firehouse on the 28th. You could use it on the
Oh, on
29th.
Friday, we couldn't.
You could use it on Friday, not on
The
Thursday.
29th.
29th, you could use it.
Not around?
I'm not around on the
If I end up-
29th.
Cause that's my daughter's week. I'm sorry, I might be out of town. I just
On the
don't know.
29th,
Yeah.
I'm not sure yet.
when will you know?
When I get my daughters to talk to me.
Yeah.
We just came off a
Do you
long
wanna
weekend, so,
propose Another,
The 30th?
That's a
Saturday.
um,
So we're doing our hearing again,
On the 14th?
on the 14th.
14th.
and that's the same night as a
Yeah.
P and Z public hearing?
I don't have it on here.
Okay,
I think you're right, Dave.
P and Z is the 28th. Oh, public.
public hearing,
Yeah.
Oh.
yeah. I don't have it here. So that,
Isn't gonna work.
because
It's gonna
right
work, no.
after the.
Can we go
town
back to-
Meeting, we have the vote on the mill rate.
Yeah.
So.
Can we go back to the 13th? For
What, why are you gonna
Hearing?
be available on the 27th? Is that one?
Hearing.
Firehouse
Does that mean you're available on
What
the
you-
27th?
What?
Firehouse.
But it's okay, we could find another
Historical
space. What about the
Oh.
27th? Are you?
Oh, but the
here?
historical society has something. I am here. Actually, we were,
Dinner.
oh,
But the 13th is the FFA open house.
oh, yeah, we don't.
oh,
Sorry.
yes,
No. And I guess we stick with the 14th and then you might have to have the town meeting the first week of June. We might not have a choice.
Done it before.
Yep,
It's not ideal, but if you can get it in that first week, then
that's it.
No leeway if it.
it fails, right? I mean, having to have 2 weeks between everything is difficult.
That's why it takes up all that space.
Hearing on the 8th. Your meeting on the 6th.
Wow, that's quick.
May 8th.
yeah. Friday the 8th.
Well, if we're meeting, then Well, I can't.
Oh, you mean to have our
Our public
hearing
hearing.
on, hearing on the 8th? Yeah, we could do
And
that.
then you're into the week of the 2 weeks is that.
Right,
until
it backs us
Yeah,
up.
actually, we could do that, right?
And then you have the 22nd.
Okay.
Six on May 8th.
Are you
I
gonna,
don't have to be here.
are you here on the 8th or not here on the 8th?
I am here on the.
You're here on the 8th.
Yeah, but
It's for the
I
hearing.
really want to be here for the meeting.
Yeah.
No, but the hearing.
No,
I-
she's saying she'll
It's,
come
I
to-
trust everyone will have their say at the hearing. It's the meeting that I really want to be here.
Sorry.
If I can't be, I can't be.
So we're looking at Friday the 8th at the Emergency Services Center.
For the hearing.
For the hearing,
Yeah,
yeah,
for the hearing. It's
yeah,
Okay.
now the
okay.
8th.
8th,
7 o'clock.
7
Yeah.
p.m.
okay. So then,
And then we have our regular Board of Finance on the 11th.
yep,
Mhm.
Okay. Here, either.
So if we proposed anything at that point, we could put it on the agenda. And then we're saying the 22nd is the 2 weeks.
So we could go with 22nd.
I won't be here, but. You. I'm usually in the minority anyway.
sorry.
It's okay.
Yeah,
No. I'm just not into raising the mill rate.
I know, not if we can help it, but I'm not sure we
None
can.
of you are, none of you
Yeah,
want to raise the
no.
mill rate.
No.
Yeah.
No,
We just might not have choices.
may not be as much as what we.
So are you saying the town meeting would be on what date?
The 22nd?
22nd,
Okay.
May 22nd.
7 o'clock.
Mm-hmm.
Okay,
7 o'clock at the firehouse?
Yes.
yes.
I'm sure it's available. Is it available?
Yeah, it's available.
Well, if I could zoom in, well,
That would think that I know.
yeah, but let me think what time I'll be there. Oh, midnight.
You're up at midnight anyway.
These days.
You'll be fine.
All right, so we have set on a public hearing date. We've set a town
Meeting date.
meeting date, and
And
then
our
there would
next
be a
meeting.
special meeting right after the
Yeah.
22nd to discuss.
Right.
No, me, yeah.
Sorry.
That's fine. It's impossible to coordinate everything.
It is.
And then the regular meeting, so.
Right, and we have our regular meeting in there too.
Yeah.
Take care of business.
Nothing on the 14th, right?
No.
Nothing on the 14th,
14th
correct.
is Dead in the water.
Yep, I'm done with that.
Mhm.
Ginger, what's the meeting after the 22nd?
There's 2 meetings. There's the town meeting, and then immediately following, the Board of Finance convenes to discuss the mill rate.
Okay,
The mill
that's,
rate.
and do we have a date for that one? Yes.
It's the same day.
Same day.
It's just one consecutive,
Yeah.
yeah,
You'll be there.
consecutive.
Oh, you'll be there.
Same
Okay,
day.
yes.
I'm
Mhm.
not gonna let you leave, don't worry.
So we will,
These all in here.
Motion.
Oh,
to-
it-
Oh, and just so you
Yeah.
know, I will be late to the
Yeah.
hearing because I don't get out of work till 7.
Do you want to change that? Or you just want to be late to the
I
hearing?
mean, that's up to you guys.
Just-
I
it's
will
not the
be,
meeting. It's not a
right, I'll be running in the last
Okay.
minute. I'll try to be there by 7:20.
just put somebody else on listening. Duty.
Yeah, well, I mean, I can,
No, what you.
Tim will
can-
keep the seat warm.
Which one?
the one well, actually, all of them, because I get out of work at 7 now.
Oh.
Unless I can get the 6 o'clock person to swap with me.
There
I'll
you
work
go.
on it.
Yeah, there you go, let's not,
Good.
yeah.
Okay.
Public comment.
Yeah, I just want to apologize for speaking out of turn. I'm sorry.
No, go ahead.
There's just so much silly misinformation out there about the firehouse. Let's just clear it up. It's all public information. Can't get into numbers and all of that. But when you do a lot line adjustment on a piece of property that has a mortgage, that property is covered by the mortgage. To make a change the title insurance attorneys, the mortgage holders attorneys, and everyone else has to get together and agree to change what's been encumbered. This is something that should have been brought to light, like when the RFP was done to sell the property. It wasn't. The day after it was requested, the request was made of the mortgage holder. Several people have been involved to try and push them along. I've been involved in dozens of these. They can take 6 weeks, they can take 6 months. It's all attorneys of these bigger companies. It's not the end attorney, it is not the town attorney, it's the other attorneys. But there has been a lot of pushing with that. So that is the holdup at this time. Everybody knows it's better to have that done for the best interest of the town, but everyone's hands are tied.
Thank you, Denise.
Yeah, but that's because that
Being
is.
more articulate than I was about it.
And the last thing is you guys can cut any line on the board, on the municipal budget, any line you want. Remember those long spreadsheets? You don't want something on there, you just zero it out. That's all I got.
Thank you.
It seems to me like the Board of Finance is doing the same thing we did last year. And we have a big increase in the school budget and we ask the municipality to cut, make the biggest cut, which is a huge mistake. Because roads, bridges, infrastructure are a physical thing, we're not gonna, we wish them to get better. We need to keep an eye on that. Now, as far as the school budgets go, until residents of the region one decides they want to start voting no on these school budgets, that's the only way you're going to keep it in check. You got to start voting no. That's the only thing we have.
Steve, I'm had the conversation with Dave earlier, but I agree with you. We don't have enough money in maintaining the infrastructure in the town budget.
If I may add on the discussion also, Steve is part of the infrastructure committee along with Chris and along with Tim. And again, we have, and I've said this more than once, we've kicked the can down the road. This is why we're dealing with our bridges. This is why we're dealing with our culverts. This is why we're dealing with our pavements, so on and so forth. It's no reflection on our Department of Public Works. When we only give them so much money, then we can only expect so much. And I mean, just working with capital plan and so forth. Again, we just have to have that money. Again, we look at low trip and all these others, trips grants and so forth. We just applied for a trips grant. Again, you don't know where you're going to end up with any of these grants, but at least, who said it? I think it was Larry Bird. This 100% of the shots you never take.
Right. But I also feel like we didn't get the capital plan stuff back.
I have a great deal of the capital.
Okay, so it's hard to also, like, when we're looking at what projects and things are coming down the line, we have not seen those either. So it's difficult to know where our future expenses are going to be. And I do think that makes it a little bit difficult for us to be able to budget as well as we need to. So I think between that and also knowing what we're actually spending, versus what we project we're spending makes a difference. Because that is when you can see what you're actually spending, you really can make cuts. There are areas that you would say, you know what, we always budget this much money, but we really only spend this much money. And it might not seem like a lot, but when you keep chipping away at all of those, you can, you might not get to your 100,000, but you'll get closer. So I just.
Oh,
Yeah, it's Tristan Phillip. I wanted to echo what Tom said earlier about austerity. I think we're at a point now where it's a serious consideration. If you look at the ceiling tiles up there, we're not just talking roads and bridges, we're talking For this building, the roof on this building, that building across the road, every building in town needs some sort of, maintenance. And it's difficult to try and think of how you, or where you're gonna, how much of that maintenance you can actually perform if you don't know, if there's no money, no money, or very little. You look at the capital plan and, there's $7,000 in there for maintenance of this building. Well, where do we start? You know? Burn through that, and then next year we add another 1,000, and then, we never get ahead. Never.
Right, but that's where we need the capital plan stuff, Chris.
Capital plan,
Sure, yeah.
Well, it will, because then we're gonna know, well, this building is gonna be this year, this building's gonna be this year, this
that's
building.
great, but
or-
where's
But
the money gonna
where's the
come
money
from?
coming?
You
Yeah,
need
the
revenue.
revenue.
Well,
You
that's
need
what we,
revenue.
right?
So my
Well,
public comment again would be, whether it's Board of Selectmen, POC, P&Z, POCD, whoever, whatever groups it may be, somebody in this town needs to start developing in parallel with that capital plan, a revenue plan. Because you can't fix anything if we don't have any money.
I think this year, this budget cycle, we need to talk austerity, and there's no, $100,000 is huge out of
it
that
is.
this year.
Mhm.
Yeah.
I agree with what Denise said about, items that are budgeted for and aren't spent. It makes no sense. I mean, that goes back to the general fund, and then we just ask for more of the same,
Mhm.
put it in the same line
Okay.
item. And,
Mhm.
but that's not gonna get us to 100 grand, I don't think.
It's not gonna get you to 650 grand either. So,
Right, right.
Mhm.
Let this be a start. Of course, we have to do something.
Yeah.
Well, public comment again. So this revenue generation, it would be my hope as a citizen, that Dave and the other selectmen would convene at the earliest, at the latest, in June, a group of people that are really, June of this year, are really going to be looking at revenue. We need your leadership in this way, from the selectmen. Otherwise, we just keep talking about it every year. We talked about it last year.
Right.
And the year before.
And the year before. And we need you to bring us together and let's talk about some real things that can be realized. That would be my wish.
And there's no idea too small or too big.
Right.
And-
Yeah.
Anything else?
So,
Entertain a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Thank
Thank
you.
you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you. I'm taking notes.
Hey,
I don't.
also the 8th at 5 o'clock, isn't that the social